Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of our Can of Corn podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Ozenbach, and this is my partner, Dylan Miller.
Hello, guys. How's everybody doing?
We thank you guys for tuning into our second episode, and we hope you enjoy the content. As always, feel free to leave us suggestions on any of our media pages, our comment sections, direct messages, however you guys want to get in contact with us. We'll appreciate it. And yeah, let's go over what we're going to cover this episode.
Yeah, this episode we're gonna do the AL division rankings. If you tuned in last week, it's gonna be the exact same thing, just for the American League divisions versus the National League. So I think it's gonna be an interesting episode. Might see some debate. I don't know if it'll get quite on the level of last episode, but I think it'll still be an interesting listen for everyone.
Hopefully, I'm not an American League man, but I've done my research, so we should be all right.
All right, you wanna crack open this can of corn, Chris?
Yeah, let's do it. So we're going to start with our AL West rankings, and my AL West is the Astros first, the Rangers, the Mariners, the Angels, and then the A's.
Yeah, and I have the same ranking. You wanna start to explain this one, and then I'll take the next one.
Sure. So Astros, I originally put the Rangers above the Astros. I had a last minute change because they added Josh Hader, and I think that's a. I mean, they're assembling a super team. In my personal opinion, they are. The level of talent is on par, in my opinion, with the Dodgers at this point. It is getting ridiculous down there, and I hate the Astros. By the way, for everyone who's curious, I'm an Astros hater, obviously, but yeah, I think they got the division for sure.
Yeah, I do as well. I had the Astros in first place prior to the hair shining. I just overall, man, they're the Astros. They're a juggernaut. There's a reason they've made seven straight ALCS appearances, and honestly, the way that this team's set up now, I
Yeah,
I could see them making a serious run for an eighth, just with Ryan Presley, Ryan Presley, Brian Abreu, and now Josh Hader at the back of that bullpen. If if you're losing a game against them in the seventh inning, you can basically kiss that chance of winning goodbye. I mean, they're just three absolutely lockdown guys.
yeah. I do have that down. It's just there's not really a weakness that you can find. No bullpen weakness, no starting rotation weakness, no offensive weakness. They're just juggernauts. But that brings us to the Rangers. We both have in second. They had some losses. Perez, Will Smith, and Stratton are gone this season. Um, they added Kirby Yates, who I think is a good addition last year at a 3.28 ERA. And they added Tyler Mahle, who had a 3.16 with the Twins. It was a short season for him, though. He had Tommy John, but he should be back. I think they said midway through the season he's supposed to come back.
Yeah, I like that Tyler Mahle pickup for them. Back when he was on Cincinnati, he was throwing a little bit more. I mean, when he got traded to the Twins, he's been injured a good bit ever since. But back when he was with the Reds, he was a really good arm, and
Yeah,
I was excited when the Twins got him because I just thought he'd get more potential. But hopefully he can pick that back up in Texas. And I think even bigger for them, like more than him having a resurgence here, is they need him to be a lockdown arm because you look at some of the top end starters in their rotation, they're nasty, but half of them are out until we're talking All Star break. I mean, Scherzer had surgery. DeGrom's still working his way back from injury. Evaldi's working his way back from injury, and they still haven't re-signed Jordan Montgomery. So I'm not sure if that's possible for them, but
yeah,
they just need that rotation to kind of lock down until those aces come back.
definitely. I think if the Rangers can keep themselves at 500 by the All Star break, they'll have the pitching in the second half of the year to get themselves to the playoffs. Um, but I think it's going to be really hard not having their top three guys. Or is it two? Top two or three are out for the.
Yeah, it's debating on how you want to put them,
Yeah,
but I mean, regardless, it's their top half of the rotation.
you're gonna
But
be really proud of me here too. I went into the depth chart for their prospects. Wyatt Langford. I don't know
oh
if you
yeah,
know who that is.
yeah,
360 slashing, 360, 480, 667 AAA. Holy cow.
yeah. Langford's a beast. He's projected to crack the roster this year at some point, which is incredibly impressive because he was just drafted in July.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, you never want to bring him up too early and like mess up the whole process of becoming a Major League Baseball player and ruin that young talent. But man, I'd love to see him come up beginning to middle of the year and just start raking. I mean, those numbers are crazy. Even I know AAA is different than majors and all that, but like that's absurd.
Yeah, I honestly see him and his teammate Evan Carter. I don't know how much of the early playoffs you watched for the Rangers, but Evan Carter was a beast for the Rangers in the
Yeah, he did really
playoffs,
well.
and I think that them two honestly have the potential to finish 1 and 2 in AL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else that you have for the Rangers?
I don't think so. I'm just hoping that they don't miss Mitch Garver's bat too much. He gave him a good amount of thump. It was kind of like a comeback year for him. He was always real good with the Twins, and then when he went to Texas, he kind of lost his footing a little bit and regained it. But
Yeah,
I think they'll find that production elsewhere. This is a team that never really struggled offensively last year, so I think they'll be able to replace his production elsewhere.
I agree. On to the Mariners.
Yeah, speaking of Mitch Garver,
Yeah. Um, yeah, he was traded, right?
signed free agent.
Was it just signed? Oh, I'm looking at Mitch Haniger. Um, San Francisco traded Mitch Haniger to the Mariners, I think, because they
Yep.
didn't have a right fielder. But not
Yeah.
that that's a great addition. I mean, 209 was his batting average, 209, on base percentage 266. Not exactly what they're looking for. But I do have that they're fairly complete offensively, with the exception of the right fielder. Like they really aren't
Yeah,
too.
I
They're
mean,
not doing bad.
they're not terrible. I don't exactly understand trading Eugenio Suarez away. I mean, he gave them good production last year, and I don't know. I think they're gonna miss that hole. I mean, Mitch Haniger was a Mariner for years before going to the Giants, so I think him coming back home and being in front of the crowd he grew up playing with, I think that'll kind of be a nice revival for him. But
Yeah.
I just leaving Gino Suarez leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, hey, maybe they saw something. Maybe he said something. I don't know. But and then what else do I have? They added Luke Raleigh. I don't know how you say his last name in left field.
Yeah,
Who he's kind of a Reese Hoskinsy kind of guy. He's slugging 500, hitting 250. On base percentage was 333, which isn't bad.
yeah,
Um,
he is kind of Reese Hoskins esque with the bat. I mean, he has the capability to provide that big thump when he's on, but he is streaky as hell, just like
yep,
Reese, and he's also really fast. Um, I
yep,
don't know. I feel like that gives him a lot more range than more people would expect from someone with his caliber of bat.
yeah.
But I think that could be a good pickup for them.
And I don't know what Haniger is like defensively, but if he's not good defensively and you have a left fielder with that kind of speed, you can always shift over your center fielder a little bit closer to right, your left fielder closer to center, and you don't have
Yeah,
to worry too much about that.
yeah. I mean, Julio out in center field can cover. He can
Yeah,
cover
yeah, he's a
everything.
dog.
He's a lightning bolt.
They have a great starting three pitchers. Their first three in their rotation, all sub 4 ERAs last year. Um, Castillo, Gilbert, and Kirby. And their bullpen, from what I was looking at statistically, was awesome. And I would love to see a Matt Brash transition into a starter, maybe like less than 5 innings starter, like a bullpen starter kind of guy, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So he actually started when he first came
Yeah,
up, and then they just kind of had a log jam in the rotation. So he was deployed in a bullpen role, and
yeah, he was
I
excellent in it. But
yeah, I could see him being an opener in some games where they need it, but I kind of like him as that long relief slash setup man because he gets a lot of swing and miss, knows how to work counts, and get ahead of these hitters.
yeah, I have here that I wouldn't mind seeing him be like a if your guy's getting hit around pretty good, but you're hitting the ball like a fifth, sixth inning, like minimum 2 inning, middle of the game kind of guy, kind of like how the
Yeah,
Phillies used to use Ranger, but I think he's significantly better out of the pen than
yeah.
Ranger is.
All right, you wanna shift to the Angels?
Yeah, I have some interesting notes about the Angels. Their offense isn't actually bad. They have good bats. Their starting rotation and relievers are just horrible.
Yeah. There's not much to say about their pitching. Um,
No, no, it's bad.
they went on a frenzy. I believe it was 2021 or 2020, where that entire draft all they did was take pitchers because
Yeah.
they knew how bad their farm system was with pitching, and it didn't help at all. That's like
Yeah,
the most Angels thing
it
ever.
is. Angels are the only team that could have the two most generational talents on their roster and not win a playoff game.
Yeah.
But that's really all I had for them. Robert Stevenson, they added, and Luis Garcia.
Yeah, I like the pickup for Stevenson. I think, you know,
3.1. It's pretty good.
yeah, I think the Angels themselves are a little delusional. I think that they think they have a chance of making a run this year, which
Yeah.
I just realistically can't see happen. So I think that Stevenson's going to be a good flip piece at the deadline. Hopefully they can get some rotation depth with that, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you never know too if maybe one of their guys has just a crazy year. Maybe there's something with their starting pitchers, one of them or two of them that they really like, and they see something and they think it might come through. I don't know, but I just with the Astros and Rangers in their division, I can't foresee them making a jump.
Yeah, yeah. I think if anyone's going to have a jump pitching wise this year, I think it's going to be Reed Detmers for them. I don't know if you remember, but I believe it was in May of 22. He actually threw a no hitter, and it was one of his first handfuls of major league starts.
Hmm.
So he showed that promise, and then just kind of tapered
Yeah,
off. But that magic was there once, and I think that if anyone's gonna find some sort of heartbeat in that rotation, it's gonna be him.
that's a good point. I forgot about him completely. It's pretty terrible. And then last, unless you have anything else, last but not least, God bless the Oakland A's, man.
Yeah.
It's all bad. I looked at everything, every single player on that roster, and there was not a single solitary
Uh,
good statistic.
yeah. So, funnily enough, I didn't look at the A's like in too much detail
Yeah.
before like sitting down, and I got to look at the Angels roster in detail first. I'm sitting there, I'm like, man, this team is terrible. The A's might actually be better than this.
Yep.
And then I got to the A's page, and I'm like, nope,
Dude, they're
nope,
so
not
bad.
possible.
I was looking and I was like, surely there must be someone hitting over 275. Surely there's a pitcher with an ERA below 4. No, nothing, dude.
No, I mean, Brent Rooker was slugging for them this past year. He had a 30 plus homer season. Uh, Zach Geloff had a pretty decent rookie year at second base,
Yeah, he'll
but
be Yankee soon, don't worry.
yeah, outs, outside of that, man, it's
It's
pretty rough
so
in Oakland.
it sucks because I like the Oakland Athletics mostly
Yeah,
because of the movie, but
yeah,
like, man, dude, they can't even play their own game anymore because all the other teams do it now.
yeah. It's just so funny. Like I remember this 2021 Oakland A's team with Matt Chapman and Matt Olson,
They're
and
all
it was
gone.
just like I thought they were gonna make a deep playoff run. I mean, they had how many chances? It just
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know, like, uh,
yeah,
are they moving to Las Vegas? Are they even gonna be the Oakland Athletics? Who knows?
yeah. It's not looking good. Sorry if there are any Oakland fans out there.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
We
guys.
uh we're feeling for
There's there's other teams. There's other teams. So
you. You can hop on the bandwagon. We won't
yeah,
hold
we won't
nothing
we won't
against you.
judge. Come be Phillies fans. The A's were in Philly at one point, so really
They
you're
were
just going back to your roots.
all right. You wanna hit the AL Central?
Yeah, let's scoop over to that. This is more of a toss-up division, I think, aside from the Royals and the White Sox.
Yeah, I think so. I'll read off mine first. I've got the Twins placing first. I've got the Tigers placing second. Got the Guardians in third, Royals in fourth, and then the White Sox are gonna come in last, in my opinion.
Yeah. I have basically the same except I switched to Twins and the Tigers. So Tigers, Twins, Guardians, Royals, White Sox. Um, I went Tigers first, mostly because of their youth and how well their young guys played last year. They had 3 young pitchers go sub 4 ERA starting, and was it Tariq Skubal? I think it was 280. Like, oh my lord, that's insane. I actually wrote him on a list for a potential Cy Young with that low of an ERA. That's crazy.
Yeah, Scooball's nasty. He has a little bit of issue staying on the field, but
Yeah.
I like what I see out of him.
They have a good bullpen. I was looking at numbers. I think they had like two or three guys under two ERA was. Um, I did write down that they could use some offense, but when I looked at the numbers, 7 out of 9 players do have an OBP over 300, and 5 out of 9 are slugging over 400. So I don't think it's going to be horrible. I think they're going to be very like get a few walks and hope someone hits a tank kind of a team. But
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, hitting in Comerica is not easy.
no,
Um, but Torkelson seemed to find his groove last year, so I'm hoping he can build. I really like this young Tigers team with Torkelson and Riley Green and Parker Meadows. Just gotta hope it works out for them. This is their window if they're gonna
yeah,
kind of take the division early and establish themselves kind of as that team in this division.
hmm
Because right now, I mean, the Twins have always been lurking, but the Guardians are falling off,
yeah,
and I think if there's any time to do that, it's now.
yep. I agree. I do have two additions that I consider noteworthy. Relief pitcher Shelby Miller and left fielder Mark Canha.
Canna, yeah,
Yeah. Canha's just kind of a solid. It looked like statistically speaking a solid hitter.
yeah.
I'm not sure what his defense looks like because I'm not an AL guy. I have no idea.
His defense is all right, except when he plays the Phillies. Then he's
Okay.
torching us
Awesome.
offensively and defensively.
Sweet. Um, but yeah, no, those are the only two major additions that I was like, oh, this is a really good couple of pickups for them.
Yeah, the only other addition that I really had noted for them was Jack Flaherty.
Yeah, big strikeout guy, high ERA.
Yeah, yeah, and he's had injury concern over the past, so hopefully the change of location shakes it up. I mean, he wasn't the greatest with the Orioles last year when he got traded,
Yeah.
so he's definitely someone looking to turn it around.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And he has the stuff. I mean, anyone who throws, I think he was like almost at two strikeouts per inning, like his K9 rate. And I was like, holy crap! Like if he can limit the hits, I don't know if it's late. I don't know what kind of a pitcher he is, but I was like, man, if he can focus in on that, holy cow! Like that's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. He's in a very pitcher friendly ballpark now. I think
That's true.
he's only on a 1 year deal, so I think it's a prove it deal, much similar to what we saw Cody Bellinger get on the offensive side this year.
Yeah. Has he gotten signed anywhere yet? By the way.
Nope.
Jeez. All right. Well, your number one pick. I'll let you explain why you put them number one first before I say
Yeah.
anything.
So I went with the Twins because they are coming off of what feels like their first division win in forever. I mean, they had that good run in 2019 with the Juice Balls, but I think they're going to build off that. I'm curious to see how the rotation holds up without Sonny Gray. I do
Yeah.
still really like this rotation, just he was their ace, and losing an ace really shakes it up. So we'll have to see if someone like Joe Ryan steps up and fills that void.
Yeah.
But I like this team offensively. I don't think Correa is going to struggle the same way he did last year, and I think that their young guys are going to continue to take the leaps that they took last year. I mean, Royce Lewis, those last like 10 games of the season, was on an absolute other planet. Just
Yeah. It was absurd.
crazy.
I have they really didn't. There's not a lot of movement. Like they didn't pick up a lot of anybody in the off season. As far as our offense, they get on base a lot, but they only have one guy hitting over 275 last year. So not a lot of hits, but they are on base more on average than the Tigers from an OBP perspective. And they have a really high team slugging percentage too. I forget what the number was exactly, but I remember looking at it and be like, damn, that's pretty high.
Yeah, they got some
Um,
boppers.
yeah. I have Pablo Lopez and Bailey Ober.
Yeah, Bailey
Um,
over.
I think they're going to continue to be good this year. They were both sub four ERA, and their ball pen is kind of nuts. Actually, some of the numbers they were putting up in the pen last year.
Yeah, yeah, they have definitely a good pitching squad, both in the rotation and the bullpen. I think it's just going to come down to offensive consistency and having these young guys continue to step up.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Brock Stewart this year. He only threw 27 innings last year, but in those 27 innings, .65 ERA.
Yeah,
So
he was dominant when he did pitch.
so that I'm excited to see if he can be in the whole year this year. What that'll turn into.
All right, you wanna go into the Guardians?
Yeah, I'll look down. I don't have any major offensive movement for them. I did this last week, so there might have been in the last week that I didn't notice. But the offense is running through Juan Ramirez and Josh Naylor. Seem to be the only three guys doing much of anything hitting. Juan gets on base, OBP 340. He's hitting 268. Ramirez is just all around good, hitting 282, on base percentage 356. And Naylor was the only guy on the roster, I think, with a batting average over 300 with 308.
Yeah.
What I like about the Guardians is their starters. They have 4 really solid starting pitchers on their roster. And I think that's going to help offset their lack of offense that I think they're going to have. But I don't think it's enough to beat the Tigers or the Twins as far as series goes.
No, I think that this is a team that if they catch themselves kind of stumbling at the starting line of the season, it's going to be a fire sale. Shane Bieber's been rumored in trades for the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think this is definitely going to be the season he goes if he is going to go.
Yeah, and I have 2 bullpen issues. I didn't see anybody statistically in the pen that really astounded me. I don't know about you.
Clase is good. He gets the save numbers, but I don't know. He's kind of struggled. He was super dominant, in 2021. Mm-hmm. That's kind of when he emerged, but since then it's kind of tapered off slowly.
Yeah. All right, that's all I have for the Guardians. I don't know if you have anything to add.
No, not really. I think that this is kind of just a very middle of the road team.
Yeah. As for the Royals and White Sox, they're just both kind of bad. The White Sox have a good pen.
Yeah, I think that these teams are quote unquote bad for different reasons. I used quotes there because I think the Royals really have potential to be a good team. I can honestly see a world where the Royals win this division if their young guys pan out.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that they need to address is their starting rotation. They really don't have any guys in there that'll do it for you.
Yeah.
Offensively, Bobby Witt, he had a 30-30 season last year. Mm-hmm. So I love what I see out of him. To get a full year, hopefully, of Vinny Pasquantino. He missed more than half the year last year, and he was looking to be kind of their big bopper.
Mm-hmm.
You got to hope guys like MJ Melendez and Michael Garcia.
Yeah.
Got to hope guys like them, take those leaps forward.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't really have anything down for either team outside of the fact that I don't think it's going to happen, but I'd love for the Phillies to trade with the White Sox for someone in the pen. I saw a few guys on there that were at least in the 2s ERA-wise and had a few saves. And, if you have a few saves and you're on a 40-win team, you're doing pretty all right. But, yeah, there's just nothing going right for them at all.
Yeah, much similar to my Shane Bieber argument with the Guardians. I think that Dylan Cease has to be gone this year. Please, please, please trade Dylan Cease.
Get him out. Get him out. This is like the Mike Trout Angels thing, man. Yeah. And I know it's his choice to stay there and he wants to be there. Please, God, somebody take him. Philadelphia, I'm begging you. I don't even care who we have to go against. Somebody.
Yeah, aside from Dylan Cease, Luis Robert is really good too for the White Sox. He's like their other shining spot. But
yeah,
it's just other than that, it's
just not enough.
This team's on a downward spiral.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. If you get the Phillies to trade some prospects for some guys in the pen, and maybe we can find somebody who can be a reliever for that godforsaken team.
Yeah, I don't know, man. 2019 me would be in shambles right now. I actually with my whole heart, told myself in 2019 that this White Sox team would win the World Series in 23.
Ooh,
That did not happen. Not even close.
that's yeah, that's hey.
They
You
just
you didn't have to put that out there. Actually, I don't know if you
it's
knew
just
that.
I think it speaks to how disappointing this team has been these last couple of years because they had so much promise with all these young guys and it just never panned out.
Yeah, I don't know any White Sox fans. But if I find any, I'll ask them how they feel. Maybe we can get them on the podcast.
Give us a statement.
But yeah. And now I think that's it. So on to the most exciting, in my opinion, the most exciting division in the AL, the East.
Yeah, I agree with you. Other than the top two teams fighting in the West, I think this is by far the most entertaining and interesting division in the American
Yeah.
League.
All right. I guess I will go first this time. My order is the Rays, the Orioles, the Blue Jays, the Yankees, and the Red Sox.
All right, and I got the Orioles, the Rays, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and then the Red Sox.
So
I'll make my Orioles case because you
yeah,
you've made your case for your first place teams, the other two. So this Orioles team was scorching hot last year. A lot of people didn't consider them a playoff team, but they just rode the wave all the way through. And yeah, they got swept in the playoffs. But for how many young guys they had on that team that never had that postseason experience,
yeah.
I think they're going to build off that. Adley's insane. Gunnar Henderson is in contention to be a top five third baseman in the league entering his second season.
Yeah.
And their bullpen's disgusting. And
And
they have Jackson Holiday coming up.
I have absolutely no doubts regarding their offense or regarding their pen. But man, that starting rotation worries me.
Yeah.
However, I think they should trade for. We were just talking about this. Dylan Cease.
Yes, please, please,
They
please make that happen.
they have the money for him because these are all young guys. Man, to just go get him. Trade something. I mean, don't trade any of the guys that are on your starting nine right now. Baltimore Orioles don't do that. But man, he'd be great. If they got Dylan Cease, I'd put them first.
Yeah.
But there's just that starting rotation scares the hell out of me.
It does, but I still keep them in first because the rotation scared the hell out of me last year, and they still did it.
Yeah.
And I don't see them in a world right now where they're a worse team than they were last year.
Yeah.
So I
And
think
so,
it's more so just a consistency.
mhm. Who do they have replacing Gibby? Do you know? Is there anybody?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I knew they lost him. And listen, Kyle Gibson, as much as I love Kyle Gibson, isn't like the next Max Scherzer, right?
Yeah.
He's not. But
Yeah, I'll read you off their starting rotation, or
all right.
projected starting rotation.
Yeah.
So they
I know I
got
looked at it.
Kyle Bradish, Grayson Rodriguez, John Means, Dean Kremer, and Cole Irvin. I think as of now, John Means is slated to quote unquote replace Gibby
Yeah.
because he was out for most of last year with an injury.
Okay.
So he's kind of just filling in
Mm,
that place by coming off the IL.
yep. Only major addition that I saw, Craig Kimbrell from Philly. Those
Yeah,
poor souls get to deal with that now. It's all right though. When he goes there, he'll probably turn into like
Brian
Josh Hader
Kimbrell.
and throw like a 1.5 ERA, not blow a save all season,
Yeah,
and take them to the World Series. So,
that would
you
be
know,
just egg on the face.
yeah, Philly's just really good at not having closers. All right, we'll go down your list to the Rays, who I have first. Um, honestly, they lost Glasnow, which yikes. But I was looking at numbers, and I really just put them first because of the numbers. I did not realize what an offensive powerhouse they are.
Yeah,
Holy
they're
cow!
they're a team that's sneaky good offensively.
Yeah. The Glasnow thing, that sucks. Not a lot of crazy additions. I think they should go out and get maybe a starter. I think they need a starter, but I don't know. I don't know. I just had it was a gut feeling. It was a gut feeling on the Rays.
Do we smell a Blake Snell reunion in
I
Tampa?
would love it. I don't know if they can afford that. I'm not sure what they're paying everybody, to be totally honest. I don't know what if they want to spend that kind of money, given that they have 4 fans. But
Yeah. Uh,
uh, yeah,
I think it would be great to shake up this division, but I don't know. I think Snell is still holding getting pulled in the World Series game against the Dodgers
yeah.
against the Rays.
I
Don't know why Kevin
probably
Cash took him out, but
yeah. I would love the Orioles to go after him too. To be honest, I didn't even really think about it, but they can afford him. I mean, if you can't get Cease, why not?
yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's all I have for the Rays really, aside from Wander Franco.
Yeah. I have Wander Franco in all caps
Yeah,
because
yeah. Uh, you know,
all jokes aside, he was looking to be something special for them, and
yeah, no, he was. He
yeah,
listen, I don't get it, man. How do you become
yeah,
a household name player in a season and then and then you send yourself back to the minors?
yeah.
Like
They the Rays wanted to lock him up for a long time, and now he
yeah,
will be
yeah,
locked up for
yeah.
a long time.
I don't know what the situation is with him. I don't even know. Is he allowed to play baseball anymore? Like what?
Probably not.
I don't think so. I can't imagine. But
Dude, she was 14.
yeah, I was gonna say if you guys don't, if for some reason people that aren't baseball fans are listening to this intently, Wander Franco had a intimate relationship, legitimate relationship with a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah,
Um, not like a she was at a club somehow and snuck in. Like he was like dating her.
yeah, like picking her up from high school.
So yeah, yeah, Wander Franco down to the minors.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got for the Rays.
Yeah.
So
Now
let's move
I
to the Yankees.
originally had the Yankees at 2,
See, and I did too.
but I looked at all the other rosters and I was like, hell no.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't feel right because the Rays always have that voodoo magic to do something special, and I knew if I put the Rays in third, I'd look like an idiot for it.
Yeah, and I even put the Jays over them, but we'll talk about the Yankees first. Obviously, the biggest offseason signing probably Juan Soto. Now I am Juan Soto's biggest hater. Though, like I kind of feel like Dylan does about Pete Alonso, but about Juan Soto. I hate that stupid shuffle he does in the box. I'm sorry. People are like, "Oh, it gives so much life to." I don't care. I think he looks like an idiot. But uh, he used to be a locker room tumor, and I say used to be because if you guys have seen the interviews that he's been doing since he went to the Yankees, he is stoked to be a New York Yankee. Like I've never seen him act like this ever, which might be because he's gone from like the Nationals, who were a dumpster fire, to the Padres, who somehow fell apart with a outstanding roster. But I mean, he from the interviews I saw, if he can turn that locker room issue thing that everyone says he has going on around, man, that's a good addition for them. I don't know what your thoughts on the Juan Soto trade are.
Yeah, so I think it's a match made in heaven. Honestly, the the Yankees got that short porch
Yeah,
in right field.
yeah, he's gotta love that.
He's gonna torch baseballs, and
Hmm.
I think that where the Yankees have been these last few seasons, where it's kind of underperforming, I
Hmm.
think going out and getting arguably the best hitter that we've seen in a long time on your squad, I
Yeah, no, I
think.
can't deny his talent. He's
But outside of Juan Soto, um, not quite sure how I feel about the Alex Verdugo move.
yeah, it's an interesting one. I just don't get like where are you gonna put him? Like why? You
I
have
think
Aaron Judge and you have Juan Soto,
I think he's slated to play left field with Juan Soto and right, and
and then
then
have
Judge is
Judge
making the move to center.
DH. That oh wow, okay.
Because they've
I
got
thought with
Stanton to DH.
his injury issues in the past, they'd try to just DH him, but
Now I just
he is a good defender, so that
yeah yeah
yeah,
he's super athletic. He's got a cannon,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't
okay.
know.
I just eh. And then I also saw they picked up Trent Grisham, and in parentheses after it, I have why.
I think that's more so for a defensive move late in game. I
Okay.
mean, reading off that outfield defensively, I mean, Verdugo can hold his own,
Yeah.
but you can't really depend upon him.
Yeah.
And I think just Judge, as good of a defender as he is, I don't think he'll have the range to make all those plays in center.
Right.
So I think Grisham's going to be used a lot as a defensive replacement late in games after somebody gets their last AB and they're
Okay.
not going to get another AB in that game. I think
Hmm.
that's when you see Grisham come in. Because this
Yeah.
guy, he won a Gold Glove in 2022. Like he
Yeah,
is
that's
a
true.
he is a
That's true.
premium defender in center field.
Yeah, he's the cream of the crop. I didn't even think about the defensive chess piece. I don't know how I didn't think of it, but I didn't. As someone who used to be a defensive chess piece, you'd think. Let's see. They were busy. The Yankees were busy this offseason. Right-handed pitcher Marcus Stroman,
Yep.
left-handed pitcher Victor Gonzalez. And then they added two other righties. I don't remember who they were. They're both named Cody. That's all I can remember.
Yeah.
They didn't lose anybody crazy to what I saw.
Michael King. I think they're going to miss Michael King.
Yeah, but I still don't
he was
think
a
that's like
bullpen
a, oh
arm.
my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. He gave him a lot of good innings at the back half of that season.
Hmm.
So I think he's going to be missed in that rotation.
Yeah. On to the Blue Jays, who I have above the Yankees. Their offense rakes. That's the first thing I have on them. Their offense is absolutely absurd. They should add. they should
Resign Matt Chapman.
Resign Matt Chapman. Who else? George Springer. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, they got him. I think they kept him.
Yeah, I think
he
it was just an addition, not an addition, but they just kept him. Pitching wise, I have that Gosman had a good season last year. I think he'll stay consistent. He's been consistent the last 4 years. So hopefully he does that again for them. And really the only reason I put them over the Yankees is because I feel like the Yankees have the names, right? They have those big names. They have the star players. But where they don't have star players, I feel like they're kind of just not good.
Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some holes on the Yankees. I don't know. I think the Blue Jays kind of have that name power too, that you look at their lineup. They've got Vlad Guerrero, they got Bo Bichette,
Yeah.
they got Danny Jansen, Alejandro Kirk. I don't know. I think that there is a lot of underperforming to be done on this team this year.
I think, well, and that's another thing that I think about the Yankees is that historically speaking, for the last like 20 years, not 20, but most of the last 20 years, they've been an underperforming team. They go and they get all these guys. They got, was it Rizzo? And I mean, he just was not who he used to be.
I mean, to be fair, Rizzo played with like an undiagnosed concussion for
Did he? I didn't know
quarters
that.
of the year.
That's funny.
Yeah, he got domed with the ball in May, and never went on concussion protocol. And you can see like the stats from April until he got hit were so good, and then from then on it was just nosedive.
Maybe I guess that I'll excuse it. I'll excuse Anthony Rizzo's performance, but generally speaking, I feel like the Yankees are an overpay, underperform kind of a team. And I don't know. I feel like the Blue Jays, and I feel like the Blue Jays have been Yankee killers as of late.
Yeah, it kind of goes both ways. I think they trade blows more than any team, or more than any two teams in this division.
Yeah.
They seem to be fighting each other a lot.
And the Yankees starting rotation worries me too, because outside of Garrett Cole, there's nobody.
Yeah, I mean, from the Yankees rotation, you're hoping that Nestor Cortez kind of gets back to where he was in 22.
Yeah.
And you're hoping Carlos Rodon gets back to those Giants days where he was dominant. But
what is the ruling with the pitch clock and Nestor? As long as he picks up his left foot or right, is he left-handed or right-handed?
He's left-handed.
So as long as he picks up his right foot, does the pitch counter stop, or is it until he starts to come home?
I think it's when you start to come home, but I'm not 100%
Just because such an absurdly large part of his game was acting like a goober on the mound, and it would mess people up. I don't want to say that's the only reason he's a good pitcher. He's still a good pitcher.
Yeah, he's
But
got good stuff, but a lot of his success was the deception in his delivery.
yeah, so I don't know. I feel like he might. I don't want to say continue a downward trend, but I don't think he's going to go back to
Yeah,
that nastiness that he had. And then yeah, the Red Sox suck.
yeah,
They
they're
lost Chris Sale.
full throttle.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only real bright side I have coming out of this team is the offense. I
Hmm.
think they can still hit
They can
with the
still win
best of them.
games.
Yeah, yeah. Like yes, I have them finishing last place, but would I be surprised if they're another mid 70 wins team again this year? No.
Yeah,
I
and
think
I
that they
do.
have all the capabilities to sit around 500.
I think the AL East in itself is a powerhouse. All
Yeah,
five of these teams are better than probably, or going to be better than probably the entire NL Central this year, with
yeah.
the
I
exception of the Brewers.
yeah. I honestly think if you put the Red Sox in the AL Central, I think they would come out on top.
Yeah,
So
they're at
we're
least top
saying
two.
the worst team in this division would probably win in a different
They
division.
might be better than the Twins.
Yeah, I could see it. I think it's just
I don't
I,
know, but yeah, it's just kind of a tough spot for them. Um, because they win all those games and they're playing most of their games against the best teams in the AL. Like they're playing them against the Rays, Orioles, Blue Jays, and Yankees,
yeah.
and they're still like it's tough sledding. And I also want to
It's
add that the big wall is equal parts iconic as it is stupid. I hate the big wall. The big wall is so dumb. Sorry.
it is, but it's been there forever, man. Can't take it
Okay.
away.
Well, you know what else has been here forever? I don't know. Probably something. But it's I hate the big wall. I thought I'd come up with something on the fly there, and I didn't.
Chris, not a big wall guy.
I'm not. I'm not a fan of the big wall. As a right-handed hitter, I'd be pissed.
That's fair, but you gotta remember it's only like 320 to the pole. So
Yeah,
as long as you hit that straight in the air.
if you hit like the cue ball off jut shot.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That stadium drives me nuts. Just because I get that baseball fields aren't all like uniform or whatever, but that's just like wildly out of pocket. Like that's like making half of a football field a different height than the other half.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It's not like it's unfair because both teams play on it. I just don't like it.
I can see where you're coming from.
But that's another time to rant about that. Top six playoff prediction.
Top six playoff prediction. All right.
So Orioles and Rays, I have in. I'm sure you also have the Orioles and the Rays in.
I have Orioles and Rays.
I have Astros. I have Rangers.
I have Astros and Rangers.
Where I have the Tigers, I assume you have the Twins.
That would be correct.
And this one I really struggled with, but I'm gonna say Jays.
The Jays.
I don't know if you were gonna go Mariners. I like the Mariners. If I could say the Mariners, I would, but I just don't think they're gonna do it.
Yeah, so I still haven't fully decided who I have for my last spot. I am between the Mariners and the Yankees.
Yeah.
I think that if the Mariners can make some either off-season additions or mid-season
In
trade
season, yeah.
acquisitions, I think the Mariners can definitely be that playoff team. But for right now, I got to give that edge to the Yankees.
Yeah, and I have the same concept applies for me ranking the Blue Jays and Yankees. Literally one acquisition by either team will either solidify or flip flop my ranking of the two of them. I think they're
Exactly.
just about dead even, but yeah, I wanted to put that out there. I do like I think the Yankees are capable. This is insane. I think the Yankees are capable of winning the division. I think the Blue Jays are capable of winning. Like they're all capable of doing it. I just think the Rays and the Orioles are a little bit above the Jays and the Yankees, but I put the two of them in the same category, and I put the two of the other ones in the same category. If that makes sense.
Yeah, much like how, when we discussed the NL, we had 5 teams solidified, and that last team was kind of a crapshoot.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about this one. I think we've got 5 for sure playoff teams with one crapshoot for who's going to make that last spot.
Yeah, I agree. I can't see the Rays not making it. I can't see the Orioles just falling apart. If there is a team, though, in that solidified 5 that might not make it, it is the Orioles, because for some unbeknownst reason, all those rookies from last year suck this year. They're
Yeah,
toast. I
yeah,
mean, I don't think that's going to happen because they were good for a full season. Like, that's a 100-win team. That's ridiculous. But if for whatever reason there was some sort of fluky thing there, I think they're the only team that's not as like necessarily proven, so to speak. I think they're proven, but compared to all of the other ones.
yeah. I know. I 100% agree. Right.
Alrighty. What
Any
was
closing thoughts?
Oh, dude, we didn't do the weekly dad joke that I tried to incorporate.
Uh, do you
Do you
wanna?
do you
Do you
have
have
one off
one
the
off
top
the
of your
rip?
head? Oh, I have a few. I have a few.
Yeah, I got one. So for those of you who don't know my fiance Dominique, she got me a daily dad joke calendar for Christmas, and I can read you today's joke because I thought it was great. So a polar bear walks into a bar. He
Okay.
says to the bartender, "I would like a gin and tonic." Bartender looks at him really confused and says, "What's with the big paws?" The polar bear says, I don't know. I was born with them."
Yep. There it is. All right. You ready for mine?
Yeah.
So my neighbor and his cross-eyed wife just got a divorce. Apparently, she was seeing somebody on the side.
That's a good one.
I don't have a book. I just have to find them online or come up with them on my own.
Amazing.
Oh, and I do have to add one more thing. If nobody saw my Instagram post, guys, I'm really proud of this. I called the Reese Hoskins to Brewers signing, I guess like a week-ish before it happened, and I'm very proud of it. So
Yeah. Props,
that's
Chris.
that's
He
all. I
called it.
was really happy.
Much like how he's gonna call the Dylan Cease Orioles trade.
Yes, yeah. Don't see
I'm
the
back.
Orioles, guys.
So next episode we are going to give you our predictions for who is going to win awards in both the American and National League. And Chris, is that our first guest episode?
I think it is our first guest episode, and if I'm not mistaken, it is a certain relative of yours, none other than Brady Miller. So Brady, I know you're listening to this. Bro, you will be listening to this. Get ready. Get your award picks ready
Yeah.
to go.
This is gonna come full surprise to him. If he doesn't listen to this pod, he doesn't know that he's
Yeah,
gonna
we're
be
not
on the
gonna we're
show.
not gonna text them, which is awesome because we record this the day after it's posted.
I think that
Take
does it for this episode.
Yep. You want to take us away?
Yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in, listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube. We appreciate all views. And as Chris mentioned in his intro, if you have any comments, suggestions, or generally just want to show us some love, it's all appreciated. And yeah, thank you for tuning in to Can of Corn. We will see you next time.
See you next time, guys. Thanks.